Hello and welcome. Today, we're jumping right into Azure Monitor Log Analytics. We're going to break down two of the most fundamental concepts that control exactly what data your queries are looking at: query scope and time range. You know, getting these two things right is absolutely the key to getting faster and, more importantly, more accurate insights. So let me ask you this. Have you ever run a query and just sat there wondering, why is this taking forever? Or even worse, you get results back and you just know they can't be right. It's a super common and super frustrating problem. And the answer almost always comes down to how you're defining what to look at and when. And that is exactly what we're going to get a handle on today. You'll see that by really understanding these two pillars, the query scope, which is basically the where, and the time range, which is the when, you can take complete control over your log analytics queries. Okay, but before we write a single line of Custo, let's do a quick prerequisite check. You gotta have the right permissions to even play the game. Specifically, you need this one: Microsoft.OperationalInsights/workspaces/query/star/read. Now, the good news is this is usually provided by the built-in log analytics reader role. So if you're ever in a spot where you can't run queries, this is the very first thing you should check. All right, let's get into our first pillar, the query scope. The easiest way to think about this is like you're drawing a boundary. You're drawing a box around your data, and it defines exactly where your query is going to look for records. So yeah, the formal definition is that the scope is the set of records your query will evaluate. But what's really cool is that you can always see your current scope. Just look at the top left of the log analytics window. You'll see these little icons there, and they'll change depending on if you're scoped to a workspace, an application, or some other Azure resource. It's right there in plain sight. And this brings us to a really crucial point that trips a lot of people up. How you open log analytics actually sets your initial scope. It's wild, right? If you launch it from, say, a specific VM's menu, your scope is automatically locked down to just the data from that VM. It doesn't matter if its logs are spread across a bunch of workspaces. But if you open it from a resource group, suddenly you're querying everything inside that group. It's like an invisible filter that's applied before you even start typing. Now, this resource-level scoping is incredibly powerful, don't get me wrong. But as we're about to see, it's not a free lunch. It comes with some pretty significant trade-offs. So let's dig into both the power and the pitfalls. The power is pretty undeniable. A resource owner can laser focus on just their data without needing to care about which workspace it lives in. But here's the flip side, the pitfalls. When you're scoped to a resource, you lose key features in the UI. You can't save your query, you can't use the Query Explorer, and you can't create a new alert rule. Why? Because all of those features are tied to a single workspace. You also can't use the app or workspace commands in your query, which limits you even more. Okay, let's talk about performance, because this is where your scope can really come back to bite you. First up, let's look at this number, 5. If your query scope includes workspaces that are scattered across 5 or more Azure regions, you're going to get a performance warning. Now, your query will still run, but Log Analytics is basically tapping you on the shoulder and saying, hey, just so you know, pulling data from all over the globe like this might take a very, very long time. But what happens when things get even more spread out? What's the next threshold? Well, that would be this number, 20. At 20 or more regions, it's just a hard stop. Your query gets blocked, that's it. Azure does this to protect the platform from these massive globe-spanning queries. You'll be forced to go back and shrink the number of regions in your scope before it'll let you continue. So the takeaway is pretty clear. You have to be mindful of how geographically distributed your scope is. Okay, we've pretty much mastered the where, so now let's move on to our second pillar, the time range. This is all about defining the when for your data, filtering records based on the moment they were created. So the time range filter zeroes in on a specific column. For almost everything you'll do in log analytics, that column is time generated. But, and this is a big but, if you're querying a classic application insights application, you have to remember that it uses the timestamp column instead. It's a tiny detail, but forgetting it can cause huge headaches. Now here's a pro tip that will make your queries so much more efficient. You know that little time picker in the user interface? Well, it's often way better to just define the time filter right in your query using a where clause. And super critically, you should make it the very first line of your query. Why? Because it makes sure that every other step in your query is working with a much smaller pre-filtered set of data. It's a huge performance win. And when you do this, you'll see the UI time picker grays out and changes to set in query. Last but not least, let's talk about a very subtle but very dangerous trap you can fall into when you're doing cross-workspace queries. I like to call it the hidden double filter problem. So check this out. If your scope is a log analytics workspace and you use the workspace command to pull in data from another workspace, it all works perfectly. The UI sees your time-generated filter and turns off its own time picker. But if you use the app command to query one of those classic application insights apps, log analytics doesn't recognize the timestamp column in your filter. And because of that, the UI time picker stays active. And this is where it gets really dangerous. In that second scenario, as the official docs warn, both the time picker filter and your query filter will be applied simultaneously. This can totally mess up your results without you even knowing it. You might think you're querying for the last 7 days because you wrote it in your query, but if the UI picker is still set to 24 hours, you're only getting a single day's worth of results. It's a silent failure that can completely invalidate everything you're trying to find. So let's just quickly recap the most important points. Remember, your starting scope is set by how you open log analytics. Scoping to a resource is awesome for focus, but it comes with UI limitations. Please watch out for those cross-region limits. 5 or more gets you a warning, and 20 or more gets you blocked. For the best performance, always filter by time at the very top of your query. And finally, beware that sneaky double filter problem when you're using app to query classic applications. And that's our deep dive into scope and time range. By mastering just these 2 concepts, you are now so much better equipped to write queries that are faster, more precise, and way more reliable. So the question I want to leave you with is this. Now that you really know how these controls work, how are you going to go back and rethink your most complex Azure query?